This is a brief video on distribution settings, and you see distribution over here is under the Settings tab. There's Submissions, Issues, Settings, and there are videos on Journal, Website, Workflow, and now Distribution. This isn't something that you need to pay attention to, but it's some behind the scenes settings that are important, really as much about the values as anything else of the journal. So for example, you'll see there are 5 tabs here. License, and that is a lot to do with copyright, search indexing, payments, access, and archiving. Not all of them are relevant to us, but you can see that there's a copyright holder section, and it's automatically the author. Authors are the copyright holders of their own work. And in that sense, author, if it says author there, that's probably a useful term for us to be using at times rather than contributor. Because contributor, there might be more than one contributor. There could be somebody who's uploaded a photo as part of someone else's paper. So author is probably okay for now, just to keep using in several places where it matters, where it's important to make a distinction between contributor and author. And it defaults, the license we've chosen is non-commercial, no derivatives, which means that if somebody was wanting to take a chunk of somebody's paper and use it as a big chunk, they would have to ask permission from the author first rather than just reuse it, and not for commercial purposes. So this is part of the Creative Commons license. Just look up Creative Commons. So ours is NCND 4 for short, and you'll see it down here. BY, I don't know what BY stands for. It probably means, I don't know what it means, I won't guess. And then non-commercial, non-derivative. And this is added as part of the website's information. We put it everywhere, and it's added automatically to everybody's submission on publication. Copyright year, the publication date is when we launch the issue. You could change that to the article's publication date. These kind of changes are big decisions, so they need thinking through. Search indexing, it's the wording here. Might be worth thinking about at some point. Is this the right thing? Custom tags, haven't seen that before. Oh, HTML tags, yeah, okay. That you could have in the heading of every page, okay. We're not going to do that. We're not going to mess about with the HTML, which would be a bit tricky. Well, we might be able to, I don't know. And then, and this is for Google and other things to kind of find, like, oh, systemic journal, systemic practice, whatever it might be. Payments, we don't have any. Access, it's open access as opposed to requiring a subscription or whatever. Enable OAI, Open Access, Open Archives Initiative, enable, so that it can be the metadata can be indexed by other people, other archives, and the archives here I mentioned earlier, and the numbers of the links to those archives has been set up. It was quite a lot of work. I'm not sure about actually PPKP, whether it's a lot of work or locks, but something was a lot of work. Maybe that was something else. I'll remember what it was. But we've got that enabled, very important, and locks and clocks also enabled. So they are archivable by other digital archives that maybe specialize in open access content. And that is the end of the distribution settings. Just to remind you, you don't need to change any of this, but it's useful for you to know that it exists. That's perhaps the main point.